In this video, we are going to see how to create dynamic web pages and redirect users on form submission. So let's say there is a live concert and you want that every time the user has filled up a form, then first automatically and randomly a table number must be given to the person, and then with the help of dynamic web page by Pabbly, which is a feature in Pabbly, a web page must be created and the user must be redirected to that particular web page. Now, how can that be done? For this, we will have to integrate these two, and the same thing can be done using Pabbly Connect software. So here, your trigger application will be Elementor Forms, and then your action application will be Dynamic Web Page by Pabbly. Now, how can you do this yourself? Integrate and automate this entire process. To understand that, let me take you to my screen. In this video, we are going to see every time a form is submitted by the user. Let's say this is the form of a live concert. The moment this form has been submitted, then automatically a random table number is generated and allotted to the user, and then the user is redirected to a dynamic web page URL where the person can go and download the ticket. Do you want to know how I have done this? So let's begin. To begin with the process, we are first going to type the URL pabbly.com/connect, and as we do that, here we have reached the landing page of this software. Now on the right hand side, we have the options to sign in or sign up. Since I'm an existing user, I'm signing in. If you are a new user, you can quickly sign up. It is not going to take more than 2 minutes. Now we have reached our applications page, and here we are going to click on Access Now for Pabbly Connect. As we do that, here we have reached the dashboard, and on the right hand side there is a tab Create Workflow. Let's click on this, and a dialog box has appeared which is asking us to name this workflow. Now here my objective is to create dynamic web pages and redirect users using form submission data. Now let's say that there is a live concert for which the user has filled up the form, and the moment I have received the data, now I want to create dynamic web pages and the user should be redirected to those dynamic web pages that I have created. So I'm going to click on Create, and as I do that, here we have reached another window which has got two extremely important events. One is trigger, another one is action. Now triggers and actions are basically those two principles or concepts on which this entire automation works. Trigger is when this happens, action says do this. Basically, action here is the response of your trigger application. Now, as per this integration, my trigger application will be a form builder application through which I'm going to receive the response. And here I'm going to choose Elementor Forms. Let's click on this. Now, what is the trigger event? So trigger event is the event that is going to make this workflow run, and here it would be new form submission. Here you can see that we have received a webhook URL. Now what I'm going to do is, first I'm going to take you to my Elementor form. So let's go to WordPress, and here we have Elementor. Let's go to submissions. Let me show you the form that I have created. So this is the form that I have just created. Let me open this. So you can see that this is the form of a live concert, and here is the form that is supposed to be filled by the user. And the moment this form is filled, then my objective is that automatically the user should be directed to the dynamic web page that we have created. Now here the webhook URL that we have received, I'm going to copy this, go back to this page, and here I'm going to edit this page with Elementor. So let's click on this. So as I do that, here you can see this is the form. Now as I click on this name field, you can see I have received all the form fields, buttons, action after submit, collect submissions, redirect, steps, settings, additional options. So here we have to go to actions after submit. Now here we are going to add certain actions. Let's click on this plus icon. So we are going to add collect submissions. Also we are going to select redirect. So these are the actions that will be performed after a visitor submits the form. Now once this is done, the next thing is redirect. So let's go to redirect, and here we are supposed to fill this URL that we have just received. But now I'm going to open my notepad. Okay, now what I'm going to do is this URL that we have just received, I'm going to copy this, and here I'm going to add, after this URL we have to add the form fields. So I'm going to go here, after the URL, first of all add a question mark, and once this is done, now go to form fields. So the first thing that we have is name. As you click on name, go to advanced. This is the short code of the form field. So I'm going to copy this. Now how do I write this? So here I have to write name equals to, and then I'm going to fill this. Now the next field that we have here is email. Let's click on this, go to advanced. This here is the short code. I'm going to copy this, go back to my notepad, and I'm going to write email here equals to, and now I'm going to paste this. Then again I'm going to add and. Then the next field that we have is mobile number. So I'm going to write mobile. And let's go to mobile number. This is the advanced format, and here we have the short code. So I'm going to copy this, go back to the notepad, and I'm going to paste this here. Then again I'm going to write and last we have is message equals to. Then I have added the field end message. Then again I have added equals to. This here is the advanced format. This here is the short code for message. Now I'm going to copy this once again, go back to my notepad, and here I'm going to paste this. So this here is the URL that is supposed to be pasted there in the redirect column. So I am going to copy this entire thing, go back here and go to redirect, and here I am going to paste the link. So once this is done, let's go to update. So here we can see that this has been updated. Now going back to Pabbly Connect, here it is saying that you have to do a test submission so that the data can be recorded here in the webhook response. So now I'm going to take you back to WordPress, and here we are going to click on these three bars, and here we have view page. Let's click on this. Okay, now as I scroll down here, I'm going to fill up the details. So first of all, the name. So let's say the name here is smart user 1. Then the email address is smartuser1@pabblytudes.com. Then we have the mobile number, which is, and now we have the message. So I have a message, please book a table for me. Let's click on book my table. So as I do that, I can see that my submission has been successful. Going back to Pabbly Connect, here I have received the API response. So this here is the name of the person, then the mobile number, message, and email address. Now once I have received this information, what is my objective? Let's say for the live concert, I have got tables which are numbered between 100 and 1000. Now I want that every time a form is filled, automatically, randomly a number should be chosen, a table number should be chosen, and should be allotted to the person. For this, I'm going to choose a feature by Pabbly which is number formatter. Let's click on this. And here I'm going to use the action event as spreadsheet formulas. Let's click on connect. Now here I have to fill in the formula. What do I want? I want random numbers between 100 and 1000. So as I click on this spreadsheet formulas here, I'm going to look for random between. Okay, so here you can see this formula rand between. This is going to help you in finding random integers between bottom and top. So I'm going to copy this formula, go back to Pabbly Connect, and paste this over here. Now my table numbers are arranged between 100 and 1000. So here I'm going to write 100, and here I'm going to mention 1000. Once done, let's click on save and send test request, and as I do that, here you can see that I have received a random number, and every time I do this, I will receive a random number. So this random table number will be allotted to the person who has just filled in the form. Now once this is done, I want to create a dynamic web page. For this, I'm going to choose another action step. This time the application here will be dynamic web page by Pabbly. Now the action event here would be to generate web page URL. Let's click on connect. As I do that, here you can see it is asking me for the HTML content. So here I'm going to paste the HTML content. Now if you are a developer, you know how to do this, and if you are not, so please copy this HTML content that I have pasted here. You can find this in the workflow which is there in the description box. Now here what you have to do is, as you scroll down, you would be able to find name. So here you can see name. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to delete this. Instead of, I'm going to map this information so that every time it can have new information. So I'm going to click on this, and here you can see the previous steps. Let's go to step 1, and this here is the name of the person. And then we have the table number. So here I'm going to map the table number. So I'm going to click on this, go to step 2. This here is the table number which would be randomly allotted to the user. And here you can see that I also have added the image of the QR code that is to be added here. So you can just copy paste the same thing. Now I'm going to click on save and send test request. And as I do that, here you can see I have received a successful API response. Now I'm going to show you this URL that we have just received. Let me open this in a new tab here. So here you can see this is the dynamic web page that has been created, and we have hi smart user 1, download your ticket. You need to show this QR code for entry at the venue, download ticket. Now what do we want? Now we want the moment the person has filled up the form, he should be directed to this web page URL. To do the same, we are going back to Pabbly Connect, and here I'm going to add another action step, and this time I'm going to choose another feature by Pabbly, which is data forwarder. And here we are going to select redirect to. So here it is going to redirect the user to a web page of my choice after the webhook is submitted. So I'm going to click on this, click on connect. Now as I do that, here we have to mention the redirect URL. So as I click on this, we are going to go to step 3, and this here is the dynamic web page URL that we had just generated. So I'm going to click on this. Now the redirect status, so I have selected 301 moved permanently. Here we have got more options. I'm going to go ahead with this option. Now let's click on save and send test request. And as we do that, we can see I have again received a positive API response, and this is the redirect URL. So this basically means that here our integration is a complete success. Now let me exactly show you what we have done. So here our trigger application was Elementor form, and the event was new form submission. Once the form was submitted and we had received the details, then we had chosen a feature by Pabbly, which is number formatter, where we had applied spreadsheet formula to receive random numbers between 100 and 1000. Once this was done, then we had chosen another action application, which was a feature by Pabbly, dynamic web page by Pabbly, where we had generated web page URLs. And once this was done, then we had chosen data forwarder by Pabbly, where the event was redirect to. I hope this is absolutely clear to you. If in case you have any doubt, you can refer to the workflow which is given in the video description. You can also clone the same and start to process immediately. Apart from this, if you have any specific integration to work on, you can always write to us. Not only this, but you can integrate multiple applications using Pabbly Connect software. To ask any of your query, you have to write at forum.pabbly.com. You can also visit our website, which is www.pabbly.com/connect. To get all the details about the latest updates, the integrations and applications, you can visit our Facebook group. If in case you have found this video helpful, then do not forget to share this with your friends and colleagues so that they can also get into automation and make their life easy. I'm going to see you very soon with different integrations and automations. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Take care of yourself.